Hey everyone, Mtashed here, and this is a video about the changes I'd love to see in Destiny to make it the ultimate game for someone like myself. I'm going to start off the video with PvE stuff, and then swap to PvP stuff after. So, if you want to skip ahead, it'll be about 8 minutes into the video that I talk about PvP. Now, today I wanted to talk to you guys about what would make Destiny perfect. What would make it perfect for someone like myself. Something that I would play forever. And I don't know if we're ever going to get it in Destiny 2 or Destiny 3 down the road, but I wanted to discuss with you guys kind of what would be the optimal game of Destiny for me. Something that would keep me engaged, keep me grinding, keep me playing, keep me making videos on it for most likely multiple years. I'm talking, if the game took this direction, I would probably, I would focus on it for the next 5 years. I'm not even kidding. I've played this game for 2 years, 2 and a bit years. And if it made this change, I think it would be the main game that I play pretty much forever. Don't talk about the grenade I just threw in the bubble. So let's get started. I think Destiny would benefit from a grind. I'm talking exotic gear, maybe even just a really good legendary that drops specifically from a certain boss. If you go fight Taniks 50 times, you have a chance of getting his random rocket launcher. Or maybe it is a cloak, but it's an exotic cloak that you can wear. I feel like the game needs these bosses and loot so that people want to do these strikes more than, oh, well, maybe an engram will drop, or maybe a 3 of coins will proc and I'll get an exotic. I feel like the exotics need to feel exotic, and there needs to be ways to absolutely grind the shit out of them so that you can get them. Right now, if you want the Ophidian aspects, you should be able to go fight a boss repeatedly, even if it's 1,000 times, and get that Ophidian aspect. That's kind of how Borderlands does it. That's how a lot of games do it. They have these exotic, rare, wicked items that you can get from fighting bosses over and over. If you put in the time, you can get it. Some might be rarer than others, but I think a mechanic like that would be absolutely amazing. On top of this gear grind, I think Destiny should add skills into the game. You should be rewarded for running around picking up spin metal and things like that. Maybe they have a mining skill. Maybe they have a smithing skill. And with that smithing skill, you can now take that and go to a gunsmithing area and you can make weapon parts and things like that and raise your levels. The higher your levels go, the better gear you can unlock. So you can get a short gaze on any sniper you want because you have the ability to craft it. Things like that, for me personally, would be amazing. I absolutely love that shit. I played a lot of RuneScape back in the day. I've played a lot of MMOs, and skill systems work for me. It keeps a large majority of a player base, playing because they have a goal they want to reach. And if they implemented these things, when there might not be new bosses to fight and they get bored with that, maybe they want to work on a skill here and there. Now, there are obviously drawbacks of having a skilling system in the game. One of the things I want to say is, if progression is linked to your skills, then a lot of people are going to be pissed off because they play this game to kill bosses, to play PvP, and to progress that way. So they need to be able to progress through doing missions, through doing, PvP, and skilling is just a little icing on the cake, a little something you can do extra, and maybe optimize your shit just that little bit more if you put in the time and put in the effort. But if you're going to do this, I think the biggest thing we need to talk about is an economy system. I think the game needs an economy system and trading and value on things. If you have 25,000 Glimmer, give it a purpose. Maybe you can, use it to buy goods off of someone. Maybe they have a whole bunch of spin metal they don't need and you can buy it off them for cheaper than legendary marks or something like that. At the beginning of this game, everyone wanted a Gjallarhorn. They wanted a Last Word. They wanted a Hawkmoon. There was a bunch of guns. They wanted the Icebreaker. And some people got 5 of them when some people got none of them. My buddy Frankie, I think he took until the Dark Below to get his Gjallarhorn. And he was at the end of Dark Below before he finally got it. And he said to me, I'm just going to get the Gjallarhorn and then I'm quitting because that's the only thing I want. I want that completion and I can't fucking get it. And he was sick and tired of it. He was sick and tired of the luck involved in getting it. Now, if I get a Last Word at the very start of Destiny 2, I'm just using Last Word as an example, but let's say I got an extremely good gun at the beginning of the game, I should be rewarded for it if I don't plan on using it, because maybe I don't like hand cannons, maybe I don't like Last Word, but some other guy is desperately looking for it. Excuse me. So maybe he tries to trade me a bunch of armor for it, or something like that. I think having a trade system and an economy system would be cool. Having value to your goods would be interesting to me. I want there to be, really rare items that people are trading for. I had the Ophidian aspects on the first day, and I probably could have got 4 exotics for it if I would have been able to trade it. And I like that idea. Some people don't, some people do. That's why this is my opinion of what would make the game super good. Now, the final piece of the pie that would make this game perfect for me would be stats. You guys know I played a shit ton of the Division. I played a lot of Diablo back in the day because I very, very, very much enjoy grinding for gear and optimizing my build. I will grind the same boss to get a piece of gloves or a helmet or a gun that has 1% more crit chance or 10% more damage or whatever it might be over and over and over again. I absolutely love that. I don't get sick of that kind of grind because I know that I'm making progress that I can vividly see. Right now, the gear grind is, did an IS Luna drop? Yes or no. Did it have the right perks? Yes or no. And that's it. I get it. You could say it's still a very similar topic or it's the same thing, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I like the tiny improvements to my gear over time. Optimizing my build, really figuring out what I want my gear to look like. Do I want just high upfront damage? Do I want crit chance? Do I want high reload speed? What do I want? I want stats! And I think if Bungie implemented stats into the game, a lot of people would be grinding the game more, and that's just a good thing for the community. People are going to stay playing the game longer with stats, with gear, with skills, with the grindability of bosses to get certain good loot. With a trading system, I feel like the community of this game would get even more in-depth and more veteran. Like, people would be staying playing this game for years. Now, for PvP, let me talk about a few things that I'd be interested in. Number 1 is ranked and social lobbies. Some people don't understand the value of this, so I'm going to explain it very quickly. With ranked lobbies, you get skill-based matchmaking based on your rank. In social lobbies, there is no skill-based matchmaking whatsoever. And people might complain, oh, well, I want to play socially and now I have to play against people that are way better than me because it randomizes the lobbies. And yes, that is absolutely true. But what I would argue is if you are someone who wants to play, somewhat competitive games but not get stomped, then play ranked. Because you're most likely going to play players of your skill level, and you're not going to absolutely get dominated, and you're not going to absolutely dominate anyone else. That's what skill-based matchmaking is. That's what ranked systems do. They put you in lobbies that you should be competing in. You might win some, you might lose some, and that's what it's for. If you want to have the opportunity to pub stomp, then you go in the social lobby. But you have to understand that there are going to be people like me queuing up that will most likely pub stomp you. So, there's a bit of a trade-off there, but I think ranked and social lobbies would be very good for this game. It gives people some opportunities to play the way they want. The next thing for PvP would be obviously some balance changes and more frequent balance changes. If something is wrong, it shouldn't take 6 months for it to be changed. It should take like a couple weeks or a month. Obviously, it isn't easy to fix a glitch right away or just, get enough data on a gun to say, yeah, that thing is broken, but usually after a month or two, you can recognize, okay, yeah, this gun is broken or it's OP or something needs to be changed or this needs to be buffed or whatever it might be. So I would love to see that change. As I said before, I would love to have more stats onto guns, but that would make PvP very complicated, and it would, further bring up the issue of your IS Luna is better than my IS Luna, and that's never fun. It's not competitive, and if we ever wanted this game to become an esport, well, that just can't happen. So what needs to happen, in my opinion, is in PvP, archetypes are balanced and normalized. If you have an IS Luna, it will perform exactly the same as a palindrome. If you have one auto rifle of one archetype, it'll perform the exact same as all the other auto rifles in its archetype. Now, the issue with that is exotic weapons. Well, how can Suros Regime be different? How can Hawkmoon be different? And that is something that is tough, and it might unfortunately need to be lost in PvP. But some people will absolutely hate that. And so I don't know the true answer to this. All I want is people to be able to compete and use balanced weapons in the game and not be complaining, your IS Luna is better than my IS Luna. That is something that's unfortunate and it keeps this game from being competitive. And with the competitive scene brings a massive audience. Anyone can complain and say, oh, fuck, I'm not hardcore, I don't care about that, but what you should care about is the amount of people that are going to continue playing this game for the dream. To be like, one day I will be KJ Hovey. People care about that shit. Look at FaZe. Look at Optic. Look at all these big Call of Duty and CSGO clans and the amount of people that idolize these players and continually play the game in hopes of one day meeting them or being them or playing against them. It's just a big thing for the community. In most situations, I like every mechanic that Destiny has. I like the gunplay, I like the movement, I like the abilities and things like that. I think there's just little things that can be added to the game that would make it a little bit better. I want it to be more of an MMO than just a first-person shooter. I want there to be those MMO features that bring in the community, bring in the trading, bring in the skills and the stats and the grind. That shit keeps me addicted to a game way longer. Right now, PvE is just a means to get gear so that I can play PvP better. I don't really care about the grind the way I do in other games like Diablo or Division. But that's it from me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Recognize this is just my opinion, and I'm not always right, and most likely never right. So, yeah. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.